Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. Today we're going to make some vegetable soup using what we have. What I have in my big bowl is an onion. I have a can of fire-roasted tomatoes, a couple of potatoes, 2 carrots. I've got some leftover pork roast that I vacuum sealed last year and I had in the freezer. And I have a package of frozen leftover vegetables, and I'm going to explain that to you a little bit later, exactly how I do that. Okay? All right. So these are the ingredients of my vegetable soup. And I was going to put some celery in, but actually I forgot. I did put it in later, though. And I also have a quart jar of homemade chicken stock that I made. It's really, really good. All right, I've got my vegetables chopped up. So I've got my onion, my carrots, my potatoes, and I just chunked them up into bite-sized pieces, to make them easier to eat in the soup. You don't want too big of vegetables. And I've got my kettle here, so I'm just going to put a little oil in the kettle. And I'm going to just start sauteing those vegetables because we want them to get nice and translucent. We want to give them a head start on cooking because all of our other ingredients are actually cooked already. So, got them going in there. And then, as you will see, I remembered that I should have put celery in there because I always put celery in my vegetable soup and I forgot. So I grabbed just one nice stalk of celery, chopped it up. I'm going to put that in there and get that going with the rest of my fresh vegetables. Now, the beauty of this soup is that you're using pre-cooked ingredients and you are using fresh ingredients, and that's what really gives your soup that beautiful flavor and gives your soup that really fresh quality to it, is just by adding a few fresh vegetables. Now, you notice I haven't spent a lot of money here. This is pretty inexpensive. So let's just give that a good stir. And gotta add some salt because salt makes food taste good. And salt also helps us sweat out the flavors of the vegetables. And of course, pepper just makes everything better. I love pepper. So, all right, now we got that all going, giving it another good stir. And then the next thing that I'm going to put in there is I am going to put those frozen vegetables. Now, this is what I do. When I have a few vegetables left, whether it's canned or frozen, instead of throwing them away or getting, wasting them, I just keep a freezer bag, a small freezer bag, and I just pop them in there. And you can see that they're kind of layered. So what's in this bag is corn and green beans and peas. And I just keep those particular common vegetables in the freezer. And when I get a bag full, I can add them to a vegetable soup. They're already pre-cooked. The cooking liquid is in with them. I keep them with the vegetables, especially when they're canned. And I just add them to the soup. That's a lot of nutrition that would get thrown away or get shoved to the back of the fridge. So we don't want to waste. Okay, I'm just going to put a little lid on there because I have a frozen block of vegetables that has to be thawed out. So I put my lid on. And now we're coming back. And we're going to check that out and break that ice block of vegetables down a little bit more. And it's coming along. Actually, it's coming along pretty good. I really enjoy this. And already my kitchen is starting to smell so good because it's just that wonderful smell of fresh vegetables. And it really is delicious. You just really cannot duplicate that. I'm telling you, it's really good. All right, so we're breaking up that block a little bit and get that going. Now I'm going to add my leftover pork roast that was in the vacuum sealed bag in the freezer. I actually froze this a year ago, and it was a very good pork roast. And I've got probably about 8 ounces here. I didn't want to waste it, and I figured I could add it to something. And sure enough, I have this wonderful vegetable soup. So I've got it put in the kettle here, breaking it up a little bit. And then I'm just going to pop the lid back on there and let that block of vegetables, that frozen block, thaw out a little bit more. We'll get there. Going to add the tomatoes, the fire-roasted tomatoes. If you've never tried them, please try them. They are absolutely fantastic. They add so much flavor. There's garlic, and there's just the fire roasting that just adds tons of flavor to those tomatoes. Popping the lid on, still working on that frozen block of vegetables. It actually doesn't take that long. Well, look at that. We're almost there. How beautiful is that? Doesn't that really look pretty? It looks so pretty. I love it. And just going to get it all mixed up. The next thing that I'm going to add to that is my chicken broth. Now, this is actually chicken stock. And what I do is when I have scraps of vegetables, I just put the vegetables in a freezer bag, a gallon freezer bag. And when the freezer bag gets full, and I reuse the same bag, when the freezer bag gets full, then I add it to chicken stock, because these are just scraps. They're not table ready edible, but they are good to put a lot of flavor in your stock. So I just take some bony chicken parts, all the scrap vegetables, which is mainly carrots, onions, celery, garlic, etc. A lot of good flavor, and I put it in there, and it makes a beautiful stock. And that's why the stock is dark. Now, you see those little whitish lumps in the stock? That's fat that is in the stock. You can remove that if you want to, but for this purpose, I'm leaving it because I want my soup to have a rich quality about it. Now, this soup does not really take all that long. We're going to simmer it for about 30 minutes after the stock is added. And because all of the ingredients are cooked except for the fresh vegetables. So now I'm going to give it a taste, and I can taste it because you know what? There's nothing raw in there right now. And it tastes pretty doggone good. It's pretty perfect. So I'm going to put a lid on there, let it simmer, just to make sure that everything is well blended. This soup tastes like you have had it sitting on the back of the stove simmering for hours. That's how good it is. But you can see how very cost-effective this is. Now, look at the vegetables in that. See those vegetables? Oh my gosh, this is so good. This was absolutely delicious. So I'm going to dish up a bowl here. Believe it or not, I'm making this in the morning. This is going to be my breakfast. And I took 2 quarts of it over to my neighbor, and her brother and sister-in-law were visiting her. She sent me a text the next day, and she said, "Oh my gosh, Robin," she says, "we all loved the vegetable soup." She says, "It was the bomb." Well, you can't get any better than that, can you? All right, listen, if I can do it, you can do it. And you know what? It's easy. Save some money, get a lot of good nutrition in there. And you know what? You just remember, as always, that little is much when God is in it. And listen, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because other people need to know this stuff too, you know. All right, love you. Talk to you later. Bye.